This is Ireland's first wildlife tower, and as you can tell from the building materials around me, it has only just been built. It's brand new, and honestly, I know nothing about it. So I thought I'd make a video to bring you on my learning journey with me so we can understand what animals benefit from it and what kind of potential there is for these to start popping up all over the country. And it's in County Wicklow in Wildacres. I've been here a couple of times before to learn about Miyawaki forests and just in general the amazing work that they're doing here for Irish biodiversity. So let's go. Brian, it's great to see you again. It's great to be back here at Wildacres.
Great to see you, yeah.
So excited about this. It's Ireland's first wildlife tower.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll have a look around it in detail in a moment, but could you perhaps tell us, if this is the first one in Ireland, where did you get the idea?
Well, myself and Gilly have been doing quite a bit of research over the last few years. We're always doing research as to how we can add features to Wildacres, you know, to enhance it as a nature reserve and a biodiversity education centre. And this is one that we researched and we found on the internet, actually. So the concept is originated from the UK, from a charity in the UK called the Barn Owl Trust, who do incredible work in promoting, you know, barn owls and habitats for barn owls. So we saw this online, as I said. We contacted them and we bought the plans. So they had drawn up architects, professional architects' plans on how to construct this.
So you had plans to work from?
We did, yeah. So it's a tried and tested. I mean, as I said, this is the very first one in Ireland, but there is a few of them in the UK, and we'll go through all the features, obviously, but it's just built around being optimal habitat for wildlife. And a major feature of it for us is going to be, obviously, you know, will be basically that we're going to wire up monitoring cameras in all the various different wildlife provisions in it and stream back into our education facility. So
you'll have a live feed, hopefully, of whatever life is in here, hopefully nesting barn owls, for example, or even bats, and you'll be able to see them in real time and show people and educate people.
Yeah, because we have incredible wildlife and beautiful, incredible biodiversity in Ireland. So it's just to show people. Obviously, when people come here on visits, they're not going to see everything. So this will be a great way in the future, as it becomes colonised with various different creatures, to show people live. Yeah,
that's so exciting, and it's going to be a fantastic case study. I hope it gets some residents pretty quickly.
But
obviously we can see building materials still around us here, so
it's just literally finished.
Brand new. Anything in there yet?
We have our first resident. We have a small overwintering tortoiseshell butterfly. So
amazing!
It's been a huge success. Yeah. So, and that is one of the creatures we would, amongst many others, that we'd expect to see in it. So there's lots of different areas. The downstairs area is a cold, damp area that would be perfect for lots of creatures to hibernate in. And as I said, we have our first resident. So yeah, even at this early stage.
Well, should we do the grand tour, as it were?
Yeah.
We'll spin around the outside to see what there is, and then we'll take a peek inside, if that's okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Amazing.
Absolutely.
All right, Brian, so will we walk around the outside and maybe you could point out some of
the features? Yeah, absolutely. So
I noticed, first of all, sorry to jump in front of you, but I'm very curious about all these holes here on the wall.
Yeah, so we've lots of holes in the mortar for solitary bees, for nesting solitary bees. So, and one thing I should mention about the tower is that it's very careful, or it's very specifically orientated. So in other words, this face here, or this facade, is facing due south, exactly due south. This is facing due east. Then obviously the far side is due north, and then the far side of here are again due west.
Right, so the position and the location were very important.
Very important, yeah. So it's looking out over our 4-acre wet wildflower meadow, so which would be an optimal hunting ground for barn owls.
Of course, because they like to skirt along the borders of fields looking for the rodents and things that might pop out, right?
Yeah, it will be, and even there's a pond here to the left that we can see, but that will be a perfect hunting ground, and we will manage it as such to make sure it doesn't get overgrown around, so it will remain an optimal hunting area. So we have the holes for the solitary bees, as you pointed out. We have lots of small little cavities as well for nesting small birds, potential to nest in. We have, this is the warm face, as I said. I can even feel the heat radiating from the blocks. But even on a day like today, it's beginning slightly to warm up. But as well, up under all the roof eaves, there's a very generous overhang which will allow for swallows and house martins to nest up under there.
Wonderful.
Yeah, we have then, that's the south face obviously. Then we're talking about the ground, I suppose the ground floor we're focusing on at the moment. We have these entrances here.
I was wondering about those 3 holes, all right.
Yeah.
My guess, if I'm right, would be bats.
Yeah, 100, yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Okay, but they're quite big at the same time.
They are. Now we're going to reduce those actually in size because these are UK plans. So they were actually designed for lesser horseshoe bats, which need a clear flight path in. So obviously lesser horseshoes here are confined to the west coast or southwest. We don't have them this side. So we'll reduce those holes slightly with timber to allow for the likes of pipistrelles and our various 9 bat species that might colonize it in years to come. So yeah, or 8 species this side of the country.
Can I ask you, Brian, about the, just before we go inside, about the hole at the very top there?
So that's a barn owl nest box. So
that's the barn owl.
Yeah, there's a landing stone there. Now that has to, as I said, there's a couple of, it's 99% finished, the whole tower. A couple of small things we have to do. One of them is to put an extended platform outside of the barn owl nesting hole, because obviously the young owls, it's very important that they have a platform to be able to come out and exercise their wings when they're getting ready or close to fledging. So otherwise they can fall out. So and inside that hole then there's a plywood nest box which we can
we'll have a look inside. And do you know overall what the height of the tower is?
The height of the tower is 5 meters. So it's a very small footprint, but it's a height of 5 meters overall.
Okay. And that's optimum for barn owls?
Yeah, it would be perfect for barn owls. They will nest at varying heights. So yeah, and looking out over open grounds. So we've lots of, as I said.
And what about the equivalent on the other side?
So the equivalent so the maximum height is 5 meters. So yeah, then on the far side, on the west side, then we have a kestrel nest box. And it's you have the same landing platform stone, which will be sufficient. And then the kestrel nest box is a plywood box inside, and that's level with the entrance because kestrels like to be able to sit on their nests and have a view outside.
Amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have a little gander inside.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Just make sure you don't, all those things, you don't trip. So then,
I have to say, just in general, like these doors are beautiful. Like it's actually a really cool looking feature to have on the land.
Yeah, it is. It is. Aesthetically, it looks beautiful. It's old stonework, or beautiful natural stonework. The doors are green oak, so the timber's not treated. That's really important when we start talking about the bats. And it's untreated, but it's green oak, which will give it a light coat of stain, which is really durable. But the door then, the lower door has a steel plate, which is to regulate the temperature inside. And basically this is an area in here, and you can see now, as I said, it's not 100% finished, but there's a grass soil area to the center, and that's to keep it moist. It's not complete concrete. And then this would be a fantastic area for bats to come in and hibernate during the winter. You know, a steady cold temperature and damp.
Overwintering.
There's our overwintering first resident. So
tortoiseshell.
rent-free.
Okay, and
small
there's the
tortoiseshell
for the bats
to come in, which we will reduce. Yeah. So and that's the first floor. Then above would be perfect then for overwintering butterflies, bats, obviously, and then many other creatures, invertebrates to take up residence. Actually, there we have a second overwintering butterfly. Yeah,
amazing.
Actually, it's the second resident. So isn't that cool?
No, it's great to see.
Yeah. Yeah. So actually, that's new.
Brilliant. So, and then, so I suppose then upstairs is where the most arguably technical side of the provisions are. Yeah.
There is. There's a lot going on upstairs. Now, so. Okay. So
this is the upstairs.
This is the upstairs.
What have we got?
What we've got here is lots of different provisions for wildlife. So the first one, and this is a potential bat maternity roost. And this is on the south side, the warm side.
Okay.
So this is a plywood box, insulated. You can see with the insulation now, we've a bit of sealing and stuff to do to finish off.
Very good.
But that runs right the way up to the roof tiles, which warm up, and even today you put your hand on them and feel the heat off them.
Let's have a look.
Yeah.
So they're going to be using this as a maternity roost, so what kind of time of year?
Yeah, so they will early summer. Some of our 8 species of female bats that we have here potentially could move in there. It's a warm area. They will be able to. We have to move some of the timber around in there and sort it out. It's not finished yet, but it is. Yeah, no, it's perfect as a maternity roost, and that's what it's designed for. It's a warm space, insulated, draft-free. Entrance is up the top, or sorry, excuse me, the entrance is down the lower part here, which means then obviously the heat rises and will well up in the upper part of that.
Okay.
And the bats can move around.
So they'll be able to adjust their heat by moving up and down inside there.
They will be, yeah.
Okay, yeah,
absolutely.
Incredible.
Yeah, so that's really exciting, and we'll, as I said, we'll put cameras in all these different provisions to wire back into the sheds so we can have a look in real time.
Amazing. Touch wood.
Touch wood, absolutely. Yeah.
And then above your head behind you there's a hole.
Well, now, yeah, we've left that blank. The UK design has a small box for little owls, which we don't have here in Ireland.
Okay.
So we've left that blank with the potential, I suppose, for swallows to come in here and nest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we might put a small or box on it. Maybe we might get stock doves. But yeah, so there's a bit of potential there. We haven't decided yet how we're going to finish that.
And then above your head, then I'm guessing
above
that's
my head.
the other on this side.
Yeah, above my head is a barn owl nest box.
Okay.
So
let's have a look.
yeah, that's really cool. So that's designed specifically with quite a drop from the entrance down to the base of the box, about 500 mils.
So this drop here,
is
what is actually a requirement.
It's a requirement of it. Yeah. So that's perfect. So the young owls then, when they're ready, can come out, and there'll be a platform out beyond.
That's a lovely view.
Is it?
That is a room with a view.
Exactly.
Straight over across the rest of Wildacres.
That could make the property section, the Irish Times, or the Inner.
Could. It's a great space. It really is amazing. And then in terms of the opposite side.
Yeah, the opposite side. So we have a kestrel nest box, and this is designed differently in that the base of the nest box is actually level just about with the entrance in. Because kestrels like to be able to see out when they're sitting on a nest.
It doesn't have the big drop.
It doesn't have the big drop.
The barn owl one does.
No.
And so I guess a question would be, you're talking about two major birds of prey there, and the small bats who obviously the barn owls and the kestrels would predate on given the opportunity.
They could.
How might they fare as potential neighbours?
Yeah, quite well actually, because I suppose barn owls are nocturnal and kestrels are diurnal, as in day flying. So they operate at different times of the day. So and obviously, they don't predate on each other, those two species. But in relation to the bats, of course, barn owls will take bats, but their hunting methodology would be to fly, to catch them, to pounce on them. Yeah. So, you could have this scenario basically in an old veteran tree where you could have a barn owl, in a cavity, and you could have bats roosting in another cavity. So, it's not as if the barn owl would perch outside and pick them off as they come out. So
they can't get through here. There's no access from. So
they would be. Yeah, they would. Yeah. So
and I suppose to your point there, that's what the tower is emulating. Essentially, is a veteran tree. With all these nooks and crannies and holes and stuff. So. So that's exactly what it is. And I'm noticing there's one more door on this side.
One more door. What's behind the remaining door? The magic door. We have, this is the north face. And again, there's a bit of timber in here we have to sort out. Yes, but that's another cold, potential hibernation area. So that's concrete.
For bats?
Yeah, for bats again, for bats. So they can access in. Through the top there.
Yeah.
And through a series of holes, which we will reduce in size.
Yeah.
And then that's an area there that it's not insulated, obviously, but it will be stable temperature-wise. It's on the north face, doesn't heat up, and perfect area for
when they're in their torpor.
Yeah, perfect area.
Incredible. So that's. I actually haven't been counting. Obviously, there are many types of solitary bees that would make the most of this. But how many creatures, solitary bees, any amount of invertebrates inside, barn owls, kestrels,
stock dove maybe,
potentially,
stock dove,
possibly swift
swallows.
swallows.
Swifts,
Well, not so much swifts, but swallows.
And house martins.
House martins.
Overwintering, we mentioned invertebrates. Then
And
as
all our
well,
bats.
I didn't mention around the base of the wildlife tower, we'll have piles of stone which our basking lizards would use and amphibians would use to shelter under. So newts, we have newts here. We just saw a lizard a few minutes ago there on one of the wood piles. So
the idea overall then is to, I'm going to go down here, is to build up against the tower with log piles and stone, and have a microhabitat essentially.
Absolutely, for lizards, for amphibians, for lots of invertebrates.
It's a wildlife city.
It's wild megapolis or
isn't it?
It is. Yeah. So it's exciting in relation to the camera monitoring. Is exciting to be able to show people. You know, obviously in itself, it's not going to change the face of habitat, restoration, but bringing, or showing people the beauty of Irish biodiversity.
And that's the important thing, and that's the mission that you're setting out to do here at Wildacres, right?
And Gilly are setting out to do.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, incredible. Well, Brian, thank you so much for the grand tour. I really hope that this educates, but also sets a precedent for the potential for more of these to pop up around the country, because we need them. Well done for
it can't, and hopefully it'll be here for generations to come. I mean, a structure like this, should provide habitat for maybe centuries, a couple of centuries, who knows?
Incredible.